I need to talk to you about this from the Hollywood angle, from the career reputational angle. Meghan Markle, her father, in an ICU with a leg amputated, and she hasn't even picked up the phone. Rob, and this is on the heels, by the way, of her Netflix special landing with an enormous thud, 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, didn't crack the top 10 in the US. What do you make of her future? And is there anything, if you were her publicist, if you were her crisis manager, is there anything you could tell her to do that would help an iota?
You know what? If you've built a brand on compassion, on kindness, you got to follow through with it. You can't lecture us all on being sweet to one another during the holidays, and then this happens to your dad and you don't call him. I do understand here that dad is complicated. We've all got messy families. One of the reasons Meghan's so messy is that her family's messy. She learnt this behaviour from someone. So I think before he even called his family members to say he was going to be in hospital, he called the media. And so it's definitely tricky here. However, my argument to Meghan would be, listen, if you call him, he will leak it. If you call him, if you go to visit, there will be a camera crew in the lobby. Who cares? You look great. You sound smart. What are you going to hide? Go out there and you wrap yourself around your dad and you see what you can do here. If this is a moment where she can't step up, then I think it will destroy her career, but I think it could destroy her too. My dad recently passed, and I can't imagine. No, it was so beautiful. Thank you, Maureen. It was such a beautiful time. I jumped on a plane as often as I could, and I really, really am grateful that I got to spend those moments with him. I don't have Meghan's money. I don't have Meghan's power. She could jump on a private plane. She could fly into the Philippines. She could be with him, or at least pick up a telephone. This is really, really ugly. Forget the human level here on a PR level. She's not going to recover from this. There's no way she can move forward with a brand that really has been based on this word compassion and do something here that I think she's going to regret.
I couldn't agree with you more. I now refer to her as a spiritual reptilian. I think this is one of the most cold-blooded, heartless moves I have ever seen, or rather lack of any sort of effort. I agree with you. My father died of cancer, but one of the things that we really took a lot of solace in and had gratitude for was having that time to say all the things that we wanted to say. That is a gift that not everybody gets.
Yeah.
And she could make her peace with any degree of whatever that emotional messiness is. Personally, I just think she's embarrassed by the guy because he's overweight and he's not good looking. And I think that's as deep as she goes. That's as deep as she goes. Now, I also want to talk to you about a theory I have. I discussed this with Kinsey yesterday, and I want to get it pumped into the cultural bloodstream because I see it coming. And it's a conversation a lot of us in the media have amongst ourselves, but I don't ever see it theorized in print, and I can understand why. My theory of the case, just my prediction, just my opinion, is that when Thomas dies, Meghan is going to claim that he sexually abused her. And that is why she was such a heartless bitch. And she won't do it now while he's alive to defend himself. And I hope that Thomas Markle is putting his version of events on pen and paper, down on paper. I really do. Tell me your thoughts.
Yeah, that's a bombshell, but I think you set it up beautifully. There's been lots of discussions in this in the media world. Nobody has printed it. Nobody has said it out loud outside of these private conversations. But I think that's one of the beautiful things here at The Nerve. You bring people, including me, into conversations we'd have over a drink. This is journalists talking. This is people who have worked in this business a really long time.
And who know what's coming around the corner.
We are, Maureen. We are not hired models like on Entertainment Tonight. We're real reporters. You make sure that all your guests are real here. And I think that this is a conversation that has been happening. Listen, she's got to do something. He's in a really bad shape. He's not going to be with us for much longer. When he goes, how does she explain it? Meghan is a strategist. She's always got a strategy. So she's already thinking, I'm sure, about how does she spin this? It's very easy for her to turn up at a funeral and cry and wear black and be the grieving daughter when nobody can challenge her or respond to her. I can't imagine how she's going to explain away her lack of sympathy, her lack of empathy towards her dad, unless, and this is when I think you're onto something, unless something really ugly happened. Not he sold a tabloid picture.
Right.
Not that he couldn't find the right tuxedo to wear to the wedding. It has to be something that is massive. And when you think about things that are massive, what you mentioned is certainly one. I would not be at all surprised if something like that isn't said. The problem with that, though, is that Meghan now has so little credibility that if she does say it, if she comes up with an explanation, I think you've got potentially one. I can't think of many others. It's got to be that big to explain her behaviour. How then do we take it seriously from somebody that has cried wolf so many times?
She's a liar.
Said stuff that
She's
so
a liar.
many times just has not been true. We've just proved that it's not true. So I would caution Meghan here. If this is a strategy, if you're planning to release a bombshell, to reveal why you and your dad are so distant, make sure, my friend, that it's buttoned up, that it's truthful, that you can prove it, because people are not going to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Honestly, Rob, I think that's what's coming, and I would like we here at the Nerve are going to throw down the challenge. Like, Meghan, we are coming at this as cynically and heartlessly as Meghan has conducted herself these many years. If this is a claim that she is going to plan to allege, do it now while your father is still alive and can defend himself. Do it now. Otherwise, if you do it after he dies, be prepared to be met with revulsion. This is her playbook. Her MO is to take any cruelty that she has leveled out and turn it back around on herself and make herself the victim. And we're all supposed to feel sorry for her. And I don't feel sorry for her. And to your point, by the way, Kinsey mentioned this on the show the other day, and I absolutely agree with it. Harry should be taking notes, because this is another conversation that everyone in the media has behind closed doors amongst ourselves. When she leaves Harry, and she will, she is going to allege our theory, just our predictions, just our opinions, that he abused her and she had no reason, she had no choice but to go. That's what she's going to allege. That he hit her, that he was a drunk and a drug addict, and he put the children in danger. Get your ducks in a row, Harry, you fucking dimwit.
Yeah, I think Meghan is a historian of Hollywood. My friends that know her, people that have worked with her in the past, tell me that she does the work, she does the research. And so I think that after seeing how effectively Angelina Jolie trashed Brad Pitt, I think that she's now got a precedent. She knows now how to maneuver in this world of celebrity. She's pretty, for somebody that makes so many bad decisions, she spends a lot of time thinking about it. And so I think you're right here. I don't know if I'd want to be alone in a room with Meghan. Not that anything would ever happen, but what she would say might happen. She's become somebody that is so untrustworthy, that is so dangerous, that doesn't appear to have any guardrails. We can all exaggerate. We can all be a little naughty. But I'm convinced, like you, Maureen, there is almost nothing she wouldn't do to help herself. Somebody reminded me today, and I forgot about this. Remember just after they were engaged and she went to Australia on a big tour and everybody was so happy with her. She was the toast of the town. She was the celebrity she always wanted to be. And she came out on stage and everybody was screaming her name. And reporters saw her turn to Harry and say, "I can't believe I'm not getting paid for this."
Yeah.
That was early on. Early on, she told us who she is, who she was. I think it's about time a lot of us really listen to this. It's not going to end well. And I think that if you can treat your dad like this, you can probably do it to anybody.
I agree with you. I don't think there's anyone in her world who is safe. I think she's an extremely dark person, and she lives for fame and money and power and adulation. Human beings, no matter how close to her, come separate. And I'm just going to say it. That goes for her kids too. That goes for her kids too. I'm sorry.
There's no one around her, is there, Maureen? Even celebrities we've met, a lot of celebrities are a pain in the bottom. They're really just toxic people. But you can see they've got a few friends from school. They've got a couple of girlfriends that they've been friends with for 10. Meghan's got nobody. There's nobody in her life. There's not that one person. And so that is a red flag for all of us. If ever you meet a friend,
Yeah.
if ever you meet somebody new, and there's just no history, there's no connections, there's no roots,
Yeah.
that's telling you something, everybody. It doesn't have to be Meghan Markle. We meet people all the time. It's a red flag. If you meet somebody who has no roots, be cautious.
I'd like to tell you about a new documentary I've recently watched. It's called Thank You, Dr. Fauci. And it's a deep dive into the origins of COVID-19, a potential bioarms race with China, and what could be the biggest public health deception in modern history. Award-winning filmmaker Jenner First pores over documents and grills scientists, intelligence experts, and whistleblowers. This is not a left-wing film or a right-wing film. It is a film about accountability. This is a compelling investigative work. It is urgent, unsettling, eye-opening, and it is now streaming on Angel Studios. It is a must-watch. If you have ever wondered what really goes on behind closed doors, you do not want to miss this film. Surprising to me, the layers of institutional secrecy and the courage it took to challenge them. Angel Studios is the only platform bold enough to release this, thanks to Guild members who vote on real stories. It is available over on Angel. Be ready to watch, to question, and to share. If you are ready to demand transparency, join the Angel Guild at angel.com/nerve. Become a member, stream Thank You, Dr. Fauci, and be part of the conversation demanding truth and accountability.